सत्य को, सब्सटेंस को, तथ्य को, जो मूल मुद्दा है उसको रखने का एक ही तरीका होता है, सीधा मूल मुद्दे पे जाओ। राहुल गांधी ने क्या मूल मुद्दा उठाया था? डोकलाम के बारे में, चीन के बारे में, भारत चीन के बारे में, लद्दाख के बारे में इत्यादि। अब आप उसका एक भी जवाब तो दूर, उसका एक भी सवाल नहीं उठने देते हैं। आप उस प्रकार के तकनीकी बाल की खाल उतारने वाले प्रिलिमिनरी ऑब्जेक्शन प्राथमिक रूप से विरोध करते हैं कि वो मुद्दा सामने ही नहीं आए। पहले आप कहते हैं कि ये किसी प्रकाशित किताब में नहीं है, फिर आप कहते हैं कि ये मैगजीन को आप इस्तेमाल नहीं कर सकते। अरे भाई, ये सब वो तरीके हैं जिससे कि आप मूल मुद्दे को अवॉइड करें, सामने नहीं आने दें। आप उसका जवाब कुछ भी दीजिए, जवाब विरुद्ध दीजिए, जवाब गलत दीजिए, लेकिन प्रश्न तो पूछते।
देखिए, मुझे मेरा मानना है कि जो राहुल जी जो कोट कर रहे हैं कि बुक और मैगजीन का, और जिस विषय पे कर रहे हैं वो विषय सदन के जो अभी चर्चा का विषय है उसमें शामिल है। भारत की सुरक्षा, राष्ट्रपति अभिभाषण के तहत भारत की सुरक्षा पे चर्चा होनी चाहिए, और ये जो राहुल जी जो कोट करना चाहते हैं वो भारतीय सुरक्षा से जुड़ी हुई बात। तो उम्मीद है कि नियमों के अनुसार लोकसभा अध्यक्ष नेता विपक्ष राहुल जी को न्याय देंगे, उनको बोलने का अवसर मिलेगा।
ये अपने फेलियर को दर्शाना नहीं चाहते हैं। अब सदन के, लोकसभा के एलओपी विपक्ष के नेता बोलेंगे तो पूरा देश सुनेगा, पूरी दुनिया सुनेगी। ये अपनी विफलताओं के लिए कोई ना कोई बहाना मारते हैं, कोई ना कोई रूल सामने लाते हैं, और ये बिल्कुल भरपूर प्रयास करते हैं कि एलिगेशन विपक्ष पे लगा के हमें पतली गली से निकल जाना है। जो इनकी 11 साल की विफलताएं हैं, जो राष्ट्रपति अभिभाषण में किसी भी चीज की क्लैरिटी नहीं थी कि युवा को रोजगार कैसे मिलेगा, महंगाई कैसे कम होगी, जो यूएस ने टैरिफ लगाया, जो हमारे मैक्सिमम जो एक्सपोर्टर्स हैं उनके लिए सरकार क्या ये राहत दे रही है, पॉल्यूशन के लिए एक बात नहीं की गई थी। ये सारी बातों का जो उनका पिटारा है खुल ना जाए, इसके लिए कोई ना कोई बात।
तो हम लोग तो शुरू से कह रहे हैं कि यहाँ न संविधान को मानने वाली सरकार है, न लोकतंत्र की लगातार हत्या का प्रयास हो रहा है। जब लीडर ऑफ अपोजिशन किसी बात को रेफर कर रहे हैं, वो भी कोई ऐसा वैसा ये नहीं जो मतलब हाईएस्ट पद पर काम किया हुआ आर्मी में व्यक्ति हो, और उसको नहीं सुना जा रहा है, तो फिर किस बात का डेमोक्रेसी, किस बात का कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, मुझे तो समझ में नहीं आता।
लेकिन स्पीकर साहब ने कहा तो कि सदन जो है सो रूल से चलता है।
अब स्पीकर साहब भी प्राइम मिनिस्टर का चेहरा देख के, सरकार का चेहरा देख के ये करेंगे तो फिर क्या मतलब हुआ? जमहूरियत में, जनतंत्र में जब अपोजिशन का आवाज दबाने की कोशिश होगी तो आप लोहिया जी को याद करिए कि जब सड़कें सुनी हो जाएं तो फिर तो हंगामा होगा हाउस में।
You know, honestly, I think there was an overreaction by the government side because as far as I understood, what Rahul ji wished to raise was a matter that is already in the public domain. He was basing himself on a published article in the Caravan magazine which quotes a memoir by General Naravane that is still unpublished. So the government, instead of objecting to the fact that the book has not been published, should have let him speak, because in any case the magazine is publicly available. Anyone can read the same article that Rahul ji has read. I have just read it myself, others are reading it now. It seems to me that the overreaction of the government has needlessly paralyzed the House this afternoon. And to my mind, frankly, it would have been healthy for Parliament to have allowed the discussion to proceed, which is what Parliament is for.
The Defence Minister is saying that the facts were wrong.
But then he can reply, no? The best answer if the facts are wrong is to correct the facts, not to prevent the facts from being aired. You all know this. If you say something wrong about me and my entire effort is to stop you from saying it, you will get more publicity, more attention. Whereas if I tell you, I'm sorry, you were wrong, here are the facts, and especially this is a house of the people, you have a way of clarifying everything before the nation, you take the nation into confidence. Isn't that the right way to proceed?
The government is also saying this is a totally insult of soldiers, insult of all our forces.
I don't think that was his intention. He never got a chance to lay out his concerns. The article does not blame the forces or the soldiers at all. The issue is about some of the decisions that were taken or not taken by the central government. And that clearly is what Rahul ji intended to raise. But he's explaining himself. I don't need to explain him. He's talking to the media now. So we'll see what you all report. All I can say is I think the government need not have overreacted.
Sir, also Mr. Kiran Rijiju said that whatever Congress did during Mr. Nehru's time, will they bring back the land? Will they answer?
Well, the most important thing on this issue is that what the Congress did during the Nehruji's time was to conduct debates in Parliament. Every single day that the China War of 1962 was going on in November, there was a debate in Parliament where there was no whip. Even the government MPs were able to criticize the government and criticize Prime Minister Nehru. You remember that famous line when a Congress MP stood up, pointed at his bald head and said, "There is not a blade of hair growing on my head," just as Nehruji had said, "There is no blade of grass growing in Aksai Chin." He said, "Will you give this to China also?" I mean, this was the kind of debate that went on in our Parliament. 65 war, 71 war. There were parliament sessions going on. The parliament was briefed. The nation was taken into confidence. Why do we have a government that is afraid of discussion? It's really a pity. I think the government should not have reacted this way. They should have encouraged a discussion, clear the air, clarify things. The entire issue on China is a matter of great concern to the entire nation. Have a full discussion on China. Foreign Affairs Minister, Defense Minister, let them all speak and let the people know what's going on. Don't have a situation where everything is being brushed under the carpet. That is not healthy for our democracy. It is not healthy for the functioning of Parliament.
See, obviously, there are some very inconvenient truths in the autobiography of former Army Chief M.M. Narawane. 4 stars to destiny. The government is hiding behind the parliamentary procedure and trying to hide and bury the truth. But anybody who is a student of history and politics will realize that the truth can't be buried for long. It will come out. And the truth of the India-China conflict and the propaganda which the government has been saying all this while will be exposed. So if the government feels so strongly against what the former army chief has written, they must proceed against the former army chief, against the army chief under the military code. And instead of doing that, they are trying to throttle the voice of the opposition, leader of the opposition in parliament by hiding behind procedures.
So let's come to the 2026 and 2021 where we were about to talk about it. See, it's very strange that leader of opposition not allowed by none less than the Prime Minister of this country, Home Minister of this country, Defence Minister of the country and the Honourable Speaker of the Lok Sabha were not allowed to discuss about the security of our country. So they are not allowing Rahul ji to even to spell the word China. Why they are so much afraid about China and what China has tried to do in our border. So that is, Mr. Narawane is our army chief. He is not someone actually who is from Pakistan or from China who actually defend to protect our borders along with his forces. So what Rahul ji wanted to raise is yet to be raised. Why there is so much halla hulla happening, especially under the watch of the Prime Minister himself? Let the House and the opposition bench and the treasury bench has to listen first what Rahul ji is trying to say. He was not even allowed to speak because there is something is very indicting the Honorable Prime Minister himself regarding the internal security. So that is why they are afraid of it. Rahul ji will raise the issue because this is an integrity and the security of our country. If the leader of the opposition is not worried about the security of this country, then who will worry about the security of this country? Why leader of opposition is not allowed to talk in the floor of the parliament? They are kept on urging. See, the internal security of this country or security of this country is not discussed under the Prime Minister address. This is a very important issue. Even Honorable President has mentioned it. But the discussion on the President address is about what she said and what she hasn't said. That's what about presidential address, no, to respond to the president's address. That's what we're trying. This has never happened in the history of the parliament. A leader of the opposition being told not to speak about China, not to speak about the security of this country. Then what is the purpose of we are here in the parliament? So this is the first time that leader of opposition, when he stood up, everybody is in the treasury benches is speaking. Prime Ministers were sitting and guiding them to attack the leader of the opposition. Even he is not speaking something. Let him speak what he wanted to speak. Then you have an issue, respond to them. No, that's what parliament is about. Not shutting someone down and against the rule, against the convention of the parliament and doing this kind of halla hulla. They are actually afraid of what Rahul ji is going to set and about this quoting this magazine. So even Rahul ji said, okay, let me not quote the magazine. I wanted to speak up the security of this country. That is not allowed. Then what is the point?
It is very unfortunate that leader of opposition Rahul Gandhi ji is not allowed to speak. From the beginning itself, the first defense minister Rajnath Singh ji was disturbing, then Amit Shah ji jumped in, then Kiren Rijiju speaking. Rahul ji is mentioning about a book of an army chief, Narwane. Narwane is not a traitor. He is a celebrated soldier of India and he is the army general. And the army general's book and his words, why it should not be quoted in parliament? We are unable to understand. And the leader of opposition is not allowed to speak when we have 4 hours to speak. In the allotted 4 hours, he has not even spoken 2 minutes. There has been plenty of disturbance. The parliament is being strangled. Parliament speaker's chair has been pushed to a corner by the parliamentary affairs minister. Opposition voices are being crumbled. Today morning they surrounded Bengal chief ministers. When she was there, ED officers surrounded them. And now opposition leader is not allowed to speak in parliament.